that means the branch is suffering. Today at the conference, we have many competent speakers who will present current data on this sector in Bulgaria and in Bulgaria. And now I give back the floor to my colleague, Mrs. Carmen Struck, to moderate the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mitko, for the introduction words. As we're having a digital conference and traveling in COVID-19 times is not really secure, I will now hand over to the video greeting address from Mr. Hubert Aiwanger, Bavarian State Minister of Economic Affairs, Regional Development and Energy. Please the video for the greeting address.
Meine sehr geehrten Damen und Herren, liebe Teilnehmer dieser virtuellen Konferenz zum Thema Automotiv mit dem Partnerland Bulgarien. Gerne wäre ich mit Ihnen gemeinsam nach Bulgarien gefahren, um eine solche Konferenz leibhaftig zu erleben, vor Ort zu gestalten. Leider Gottes muss es jetzt virtuell ablaufen, aber ich bin überzeugt, die Veranstaltung ist bestens organisiert und wir werden auch aus dieser Konferenz gute Schlüsse ziehen. Mein besonderer Dank gilt Herrn Dr. Mitko Vasilev für die hervorragende Vorbereitung. Er ist unser Repräsentant für Bulgarien und leistet dort beste Arbeit. Sie wissen ja, Bayern hat viele Auslandsrepräsentanzen, um dort die Wirtschaftskontakte herzustellen. Bayern ist ein sehr exportstarkes Land. Jeder 4. Arbeitsplatz und in der Industrie jeder 2. Arbeitsplatz hängt am Export. Und insofern sind uns internationale Wirtschaftskontakte äußerst wichtig. Bulgarien steht ja für ordentliche Arbeit, Bulgarien steht für hohe Qualifizierung der Mitarbeiter und für ein sehr günstiges Lohnniveau, also sehr interessant auch für deutsche Investoren, für bayerische Investoren, die dort nach Arbeitskräften suchen, die dort Unternehmen aufbauen wollen. Und das soll auch Thema heute der Veranstaltung sein. Sie wollen Kontakte knüpfen, Sie wollen sich informieren, Sie wollen den Automobilzulieferbereich beleuchten, der momentan ja in einer gewissen Krise steckt. Die ganze Transformation hat ja gerade den Automobilzulieferbereich sehr stark erwischt, wenn wir so sagen wollen. Und deshalb ist diese Konferenz äußerst wichtig. Ich danke Ihnen fürs Interesse, danke Ihnen für die Teilnahme, wünsche gute Ergebnisse. Werden Sie schlauer aus dieser Veranstaltung, machen Sie anschließend gute Geschäfte. Vielen Dank, alles Gute.
Thank you very much to the Bavarian State Minister and to the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Regional Development and Energy for providing this video. Thank you. Starting our journey in Bulgaria, Mr. Lubomir Stanislavov is CEO and member of board of the automotive cluster in Bulgaria. And Mr. Ilya Levkov is the chairman of the electric vehicle industrial cluster. And they will have a joint presentation. The topic is the automotive industry in Bulgaria. They present key facts and figures about the automotive industry. So, gentlemen, please, your presentation.
Hello from our side. Happy to participate in this joint event. I hope my colleague Ilya Levkov is also joining the event. I will start in a second. Do you see the screen?
We see the screen, but it's not yet. Now it's good.
Okay.
It's working good. Thank you.
Okay. So I see also my colleague Ilya Levkov. So I will start the presentation, and then at some point I will give the floor to my colleague to give you also his point of view. Let me just see. Okay. So some general facts about Bulgaria. You know that Bulgaria is the most stable country in the region in terms of political and economical stability. We are lucky that even now with the COVID crisis, this is still valid. So Bulgaria has improving parameters, economical parameters, and of course the political stability is important for us. Just a second, the slides are. Okay, so Bulgaria has the second best ratio between the government to debt to GDP. And the best rating in the region. Actually, this rating in the last 2 weeks was just improved once again. This is something that we should not be really proud, but Bulgaria has the minimum wages inside the EU member states. And as far as we know, this is comparable and at some points even lower than the ones in China. This is the beginning of the automotive cluster. This was 2012, and this is a picture from the founding ceremony. So this was not so long ago. This was about 8 years ago. And 8 years ago, the numbers looks like that. So there were less than 30 companies. The number of employed people was less than 9,000 people. The turnover of the industry was, let's say, less than $500 million, and there was only one R&D center. And all we know, this corresponds to less than 1% from the Bulgarian GDP. 8 years later, these are the numbers. More than 270 companies. The number of employed people currently is 65,000. Of course, due to the coronavirus, very few people were dismissed. So, but still, from 67 to 65,000, the turnover is 4.3 billion euro, and that's for 2018. Actually, if we take the turnover for this year, it will be more than that. And all in all, this corresponds to more than 11% from the Bulgarian GDP. And most impressively for me, the number of the R&D centers has grown to more than 28. And it is continuing to grow. This is the map in 2000, so you see basically almost nothing. 2010, a little bit more, but still nothing so serious. And this is the map, the current automotive map today. So what you can see is that clearly there are two major centers. So one center is around Sofia. Sofia, I would say Botevgrad. Botevgrad was originally where things has started, especially for the automotive electronics. And of course, the region of Plovdiv. Plovdiv was very highly successful in the past 15 years. The region of Plovdiv has attracted more than 140 different investors, and many of them were in the automotive sectors. But what is interesting now, what we can see is that new centers are starting to occur on the map. So such center is the city of Ruse, where Vite is the leading investor, but of course it's not only Vite, there are also some other foreign investors and some local companies. The region of Burgas, the region of Jambu and Sliven and Haskovo, where Yazaki is the leading company. Also, we see Pleven with Leoni and Lovech with Vos. So slowly what we see is that in every big major city in Bulgaria, the automotive industry is coming. And when it's going there, the biggest, usually this is the biggest and the best employer in that city. I would say that the last example, which we continue to become even more successful in the following 1.5 years, is the city of Vratsa. This is north from Sofia. Vratsa at the moment, currently, they are three major automotive investors. They start operating basically from this year. Some of them are already operating, or some of them will start end of this year. And currently we are discussing with another German investors for a new automotive German investment. And we think that one of the reasons for that should be the closeness to Sofia, and the fact that currently the government is building a highway which will be operational by the end of next year. So the time from Wrocław to the airport in Sofia, or to the center of Sofia, will be about one hour. So I would like to give you some examples, but before that, what I want to share with you is that yes, Bulgaria has started pretty late with the automotive industry. I would say that we started like 10 to 15 years behind some of the other East European countries, and this is due to the history that we get from the communist period. At that time, for Bulgaria, it was basically forbidden to participate in the automotive industry, and every attempt was blocked. We had the first contract with Renault, which was later moved to Pitești, to Romania. This is today the biggest company on the Balkans, Dacia. Later, we had the first contract with Fiat, which was again cancelled and moved to Tooliatti, to Russia, which later became Lada. So was blocked, and at that time we supposed to develop tourism, agriculture, and most importantly, software and hardware industry. And this is something which is now a key advantage for us. And this is why I would like to start with some examples from the R&D sector of the automotive industry. This is basically the conversion between the IT industry and the automotive industry, and the automotive electronics and the automotive industry, which is the most interesting. These are few slides from our colleagues from Bascom. This is the Association of the Software Companies in Bulgaria, which is also one of the most successful organizations in Bulgaria. We are building at the moment a 5G lab in the Sofia Tech Park, where we are basically located from. We are at the moment we are transmitting from here. By the end of the year, also our supercomputer, which is again located in Sofia Tech Park, will be finalized. I can see the building actually from our windows at the moment, and I can confirm that this is going really quickly. This is going to be one of the 8 supercomputers in Europe. This is the plan that we have in the automotive cluster, together with some of our partnering organization, like the electric vehicle cluster and the Bascom. We would like to invest in a test field for autonomous vehicles, because we really believe that Bulgaria could be one of the leading countries in the field of developing technologies for autonomous vehicles. Actually, we think that this is going to be the technology which will change our life in the near future the most. And these are now some examples. So the first example is the company Visteon. In Bulgaria, they have more than 1,000 engineers. They are located in Sofia, actually very close to the Sofia Tech Park where we are. This is, I would say, probably one of the most innovative companies in Bulgaria in general. They 6 months ago, they finished the work on one of their latest products, the MBUX system, Mercedes-Benz User Experience 2. This is the main new feature in the new S-Class. So this was basically more than 95% developed here in Bulgaria. And currently, this is one of the main selling feature and one of the main new points for the new Mercedes S-Class. Bosch is basically located here next to us, just in front on the next building. The Bosch Automotive R&D Center is relatively new. It's at the end of the year, this is going to be a 2-year organization. It was established 2 years ago, but they already have more than 350 engineers, and they are continuing to grow. Actually, at the moment, they are extending their office because they are hiring more people. And this office has won an internal competition for the so-called interior autonomous driving features, which are responsible for monitoring the status of the driver and the passengers inside of the vehicle. The idea is that if something would happen with the driver or he is not paying attention on the road, the vehicle will be able to take control. And even in an emergency situation, the vehicle could even call the emergency and call for help for the driver. And those systems are going to be mandatory in a very near future in the European Union. So all of those systems are going to be developed from here and then later monitored from here. So this is also a big success from the Bosch company. Another company, Gestemp Bulgaria. This company is finishing at the moment their new factory for aluminium extrusion. It's going to be the biggest aluminium extrusion line on the Balkans. But I would like to talk a little bit about their R&D development. So they developed several really innovative features. Like this is one of the 3 companies in Europe which are certified by BMW and Mercedes for aluminium crash box systems. And most interestingly, they developed an aluminium battery box for electric vehicles. And this is a product which became a really, really big interest. Currently, they have a number of orders from Jaguar Land Rover, from Porsche, for the next electrical versions of Cayenne and Macan. Actually, they are finishing at the moment their first, their new aluminium extrusion line, which I told you it's the biggest one on the Balkans. But they have already orders for a second line, which is still not operational. So this is one of the best developing companies in Bulgaria in the last years. Actually, this year they will have a bigger turnover than the year before. Sensata is another very good example. This is an American company. Basically, Sensata has already closed all of their other activities in Europe and moved them to Bulgaria. They have 2 factories, one in Volgograd, near close to Sofia, and one in Plovdiv for high temperature and high pressure sensors, and a huge R&D center in Sofia. This company is developing in a really, really good speed, and now we know that it has been decided that they are going to further extend their presence in Bulgaria in the following years. Melexis is another company. It's located here in Sofia. They produce computer chips, but only for the automotive industry. They are finishing at the moment another new investment of 75 million, and their new second factory in Sofia will be operational from spring next year. This is a really, really high-tech company. And they not only produce those computer chips here in Bulgaria, but they are also engineering them here in Sofia. Lastly, from those type of companies is Festo. Festo is one of the first German companies to come to Bulgaria. They came to Bulgaria in '86. This was during the communist period. They just announced their third factory in Bulgaria, They just bought a huge piece of land near Sofia. They will move most of the production operations. But and with this investment, actually, Bulgaria is currently the fourth biggest production location of Festo in the world after Germany, China, and Hungary. But with this investment, Festo is going to become, Bulgaria is going to become for Festo the third biggest production location after Germany and China. But mostly to start developing and to have a R&D center for software and electronics. And this is the only country outside of Germany which is allowed to do that. And currently already they have close to 500 engineers. So this is, I would say, currently this is the fastest growing R&D center in Sofia. This center is involved in many activities connected with developing sensor technologies, connected with developing Industry 4.0 solutions and different electronics solutions. We are now going to the production examples. So Yazaki is basically, in terms of number of people, Yazaki is the biggest, one of the biggest companies in Bulgaria and the biggest company in the automotive sector. This is a Japanese company in the field of cable harnesses. They have 3 factories in Bulgaria, but most interestingly, the one in Sliven was fully converted for electric vehicles. So these are usually considered not really high-tech activity, but in this case, I would say that this is a really high-tech activity. This is a really good company. It's basically the biggest employer in 3 big cities. I don't think there is any other company in Bulgaria which can say that about her. Hanon System, this is the former Magna powertrain company. Hanon System is a very well-established company. It's located in Rakovsky near Plovdiv. They produce many different things, but basically every oil pump and water pump for every Mercedes vehicle was produced in Plovdiv. And this is another example of a really highly successful company. At the moment, they are preparing their new extension. This is going to be basically their third factory in Bulgaria, located on the same spot where they are at the moment. This is Costo. So Costo is a really big example how fast a company can grow in Bulgaria. They did grow dramatically just for several years, and Costo is now the biggest employer in the city of Pazardzhik, and it's again another big success. And what we have just heard, that Costo is basically closing some of their other activities in other European countries and focusing mainly on the Bulgarian side. BHTC, basically Costo is a supplier to the BHTC company, and BHTC is producing FAC system for the automotive industry for Porsche, Volkswagen, and BMW. This company is located in Sofia, and in the beginning they had some issues how to have the best start, but at the moment this is a really highly successful company. They already tripled their production activity in Bulgaria, and then I think in the very near future they will continue to grow. This is another really good example for success in Bulgaria. This is, I think, the last example from my side. The company. This is a company for complete things of vehicles. It's located in Stara Zagora. It's again the biggest employer in Stara Zagora. This is originally Turkish investment, which was bought by American company. Highly successful company, and they had really some high-tech products. With this, I would like to transfer the microphone to my colleague, Mr. Vinay Levkov from the electric mobility cluster.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stanislav. Yeah, just go ahead, Mr. Levkov. I think I cannot really understand because the microphone is not really working. Maybe you just turn off the video, then you have a better streaming, even just if you just can listen to you. No, it's not really better. No. If you just plug it off, maybe it's something with your headphone. No. No, it's the sound is a little bit just not right. Can you just try to say some sentence? No. It's not really understandable. No, I think it's not no, it's not really working. I think if no, I just asked my colleague Tatiana Decheva, can we just then go forward to the other presentation, and we're gonna try it afterwards again with the sound because it's not really working with Mr. Levkov right now. Can we do that, Tatiana?
Yes, we can go.
Okay, good.
Tanja Flügel now.
Go ahead. Okay. Yes. Okay. Then we're gonna skip, unfortunately, Mr. Levkov and try after the presentation of Ms. Flügel. So now I would like to introduce Mrs. Flügel, who is project manager automotive new materials at the Bavarian Innovative GmbH, and she will represent the cluster, the automotive cluster in Bavaria. Please, your presentation.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Good morning, everybody here in the conference. Very glad to get the opportunity to introduce the activities of the Bavarian Cluster Automotive here in this conference to you. Originally, my colleague Holger Chuda would like to present, do this presentation for you. Unfortunately, has to went to a meeting this morning with the ministry, so I'm glad to get the opportunity here to introduce our activities. So I'm going to share my screen. Hope you can see it right now.
Yes, that's fine. We can see it.
That's fine. Just a moment. Into the presentation models. So it's by an innovative, the Bavarian Cluster Automotive is part of by an innovative, the company for knowledge transfer within Bavaria. The Cluster Automotive is a network for the suppliers and manufacturers industry. I'm sure you know or have a good overview on the Bavarian manufacturers. So we have the three leading manufacturers with Audi, MAN, and BMW here in Bavaria. We have more than 200 core companies and 1,100 further companies along the automotive value chain. So these are the figures from 2017. So it has changed throughout the last month, but the turnover is still by around about 100 billion euros, and the export rate is more than 60%. The automotive industry is one of the oh, sorry for that. Just a moment. My colleague tried to reach me. Sorry for that. So mobility as a glance. The cluster automotive is focusing on the main innovation fields. It's intelligent mobility, it's electronics, mechanics and constructions, interiors and design, and e-mobility. We are networking across these innovation fields, but also across branches and technologies. We have an advisory board with experts from science and industry. I go ahead on that with the next slide. And we have an international network of more than 600 companies and institutes. These are much more, we know, but these 600 network of 600 companies and institutions here in Bavaria, we have direct contact persons into. We can call them, we can ask them regarding trends, and they act as experts to give us or to give us input on the innovation fields, but also networking with them. We have more than 50 cluster partners. Partners are very strongly related to the cluster. I know most of the companies you know very well. It's a very homogeneous field, so we have engineering companies as well as manufacturers, of course. We have also companies like Shuttle, they're building seats or springs for the seats. We have companies from abroad as well. We have one machinery company, Cobelco, and also Conti is part of our strongly related cluster partners. As I already mentioned, we've got also an advisory board with experts from science and industry. Here you found all the, more or less important scientific institutions or universities. We have Drexel, Forcia. I know you know quite well the most of the companies you can see here on that. So our fields of innovation, we are acting as a technology cluster. Which means for us that we are dedicating trends or important fields for the automotive industry, but we are coming from the technology side of the questions or of the challenges we are faced within this cluster. So we are focusing on e-mobility, electric and electronics, mechanics and construction, and interior and design. And here you can see above mentioned the fields we are acting or we're trying to find solution with within our cluster or network. So in the field of e-mobility, for example, we are trying to connect companies and institutions in the field of high voltage energy storage. So what be done or which scientific work is needed to find the best solution here for the future. I want to go a little bit deeper on that field, e-mobility. So you can see the global market by 2040, we expect more than 70% of all passenger vehicle sales and over 30% of the global passenger vehicle fleet will be electric. You can see here since 2050, when we started more or less here in Europe with e-mobility. Of course, we started earlier, but the figures, they weren't visible here on the slide. We expect a fast-growing market for e-cars or alternative drives. So this is a broad field for us, and we try to build the pathway to new mobility concepts. So we are not only talking about the battery solutions, we also talk about neutral CO2 neutral mobility, evolutionary and customer-friendly developments, of course, is necessary to pave the way for these new mobility concepts. Importance for the Bavarian automotive industry is immense. You can imagine that. We're also talking about the resource strategies or insights in the e-supply chain as a whole. You build new electromobility infrastructure without infrastructure, that's for sure. So we also focusing in one of our networks on this field, so charging station for e-cars in Germany. We tried to build the infrastructure together with cities or with the players there as well. For a new vehicle concept for the cluster automotive or an electric drivetrain is the project A-Car. The cluster also acts actively in projects. This was a project between the cluster automotive and the Technical University of Munich. So the pressure for industry to offer affordable everyday cars in the portfolio is immense. And the Technical University of Munich, they tried in an R&D project to build a self-sufficient electric-powered and simply constructed vehicle for emerging and developing countries. This was the main idea. So the cluster tried to find the players along the value chain to be able to build such a car with the knowledge of the experts from the industry and the science. Together they built the A-Car. It's an electric four-wheel drive. It's a modular car concept and serves as helper for agriculture, craft and industry as well. Originally conceived as an all-purpose vehicle for developing and emerging countries. It's robust and agile, and it's also the most economic and ecological solution for the widest possible variety of tasks here and abroad. And now there is an emerging market here in Germany as well, as many cities, they have the problem to clean up the streets or to bring the rubbish and waste out of the city. And the company now, they built a startup company to sell these cars here and abroad. And they have a lot of requests for these cars now here in Germany as well. So we support our actors not only to increase their innovative strengths, but we actively participate in these projects together with our partners as well. One of the 4 or 5 electric innovation fields is electric and electric. We have a running working group together with manufacturers and tier 1 suppliers up to tier 4 suppliers. It's called, the working group is around the question or automotive safety integrity level-Metrik on board. That's about electronics onboard system. Here, the main focus is the consideration of the overall system on-board network in the context of functional safety for the future. So they are discussing about they are faced with who is the head of the electric system on board in cars of the future, and is it the OEM, so the manufacturer? Can you make reliable the tier 1 supplier, or how can we build a safety and functionally onboard network in future cars when we are talking about autonomous driving? One of the other innovation fields is interiors and design. Here we are mostly networking the players or the companies across branches and technologies. So we bring a lot of knowledge from other branches or other technologies into the car interior design. For example, I'll give you one example here. It's an Hightech-foil for interiors, made out of, developed by the paper industry. So they developed the Hightech-foil multifunctional paper technology for smarter interior of the future. So it's working on the first surface. This Hightech-foil has additional functions, not only for mobility, but also for sports and healthcare usable as well. And here we try to work interdisciplinary with our companies to give them insights into other branches or innovations developed in other branches and technologies, and to implement them in their here as an example, to bring innovations much faster on the street. Intelligent mobility becoming more and more important to not only to the manufacturers, but that's a broad range of new players coming in here into the automobility or mobility sector or mobility ecosystem. So we have other devices, we have other players, we have a lot of apps, we have softwares, solution companies here, and we all have to bring them together as we see that the car isn't the center any longer of our mobility, but it's part of our mobility, or it becomes only part of our mobility. Here we are talking about the main topics: what solutions are there for urban or rural mobility, what potential do intelligent mobility service offers, how are the business models of automobile manufacturers and mobility providers are changing, and what role does the car play in the mobility ecosystem of the future. Within this field, intelligent mobility, we are focusing on the 5 fields. It's urban air mobility. Yes, we know it's it's a site a little bit far in the future, but there are some solutions, some very interesting solutions around the world already running, such for instance in Saudi Arabia, they have a testing field on that. And we are sure that for some services, we can also bring it on the German market. It's micromobility, so we have a look on a very small field of individual mobility sector, autonomous shuttles, where we have an autonomous e-bus project running as well here. Smart mobility services, they are becoming more and more important, not only for bigger cities, but also in the in smaller countries. And we have the mobility stations, so where the car is only or the car becomes part of another value chain. Here I have a slide from McKinsey company, the impact of the top 10 disruptive trends for the automotive industry. And you can see here they are divided into customer expectations, emergence of next generations vehicles, and the shifts in competitive products. So the digitalization is one of the most important fields for the automotive industry. We have a chance also, or we see a lot of chances also in the digitalization for the automotive industry. A threat, we think it's a big chance for them. Within this field, we are focusing on 6 topics or on 5 topics. It's the blockchain technology. We also have insights in new business models. Field very strongly related to new mobility concepts. The digital factory, here we are talking with our actors or companies, what does it mean, especially for small and medium-sized companies? What could be a business model for them, or what is a business model for them? What is the threat for their products or what their services? And how can they make the best use of digitalization for their companies, for the future production or the future markets, or example business models. So the target groups are all stakeholders of the mobility system or along the value chain. In this field, it's especially important to us to talk to players or to integrate all the players into the cluster, or work together with other institutions or initiatives as well. And here you have an oversight how other parts or other clusters become important to the field of mobility, to the infrastructure, to the vehicles, to the concepts, to the future mobility concepts. Our platforms and activities, these are only examples I want to give to you to make it a little bit more visible how we are working. So we have a network around autonomous e-bus. This is a project running in the southern part of Bavaria. We have a group focusing or dedicating their R&D work on autonomous e-bus driving. We also have a test field running there. Organizing supplier days for manufacturers and tier 1 suppliers. I give you a deeper insight in the next slide. We are organizing workshops tailor-made for our companies and for the challenges they are faced with. We also provide studies. We had one dedicating on lightweight design for the automotive industry, how this is developing there. We have a network on micro e-mobility, and we also working together with built up a startup program at Bayern Innovativ as we've seen a lot of startups and new companies. We want to screen them. We want to know where is a high density of these new startup centers in Bavaria. So we can see we have in the northern part and southern part some hotspots, 2 hotspots. And of course, there you can see if you're screening or if you have a deeper look inside on which the services they are developing. It's also gives us a view where the technologies are going to. So it's a very lively scene, but a very interesting field. And also we're trying to network the startup companies with our small and medium-sized companies. We are building cross-cluster and networks for corporations. And we are also have a look at topics like cryptocurrency. Yeah, this was a question of this was an input of one of our partners. They wanted to know what is the impact of cryptocurrency for their business models. What role is it going to play within the automotive sector or on the automotive sector? Which companies are investing in and why? And therefore, we built up this new working group or this new network on cryptocurrency. There we give an insight and we inform our players about the latest activities on that field. Internationalization. So we are organizing company missions as well. We had one to Tel Aviv, Israel on IT technologies. We organized one for our Bavarian companies to Finlandia to see there's a very innovative smart mobility network there. They have a lot of, they're faster growing regarding the 5G networks or software solutions. We accompanying delegations to Mexico, Canada, as well, China as well. This year, unfortunately not, as you can imagine. We also working together with our with a company here from the Free State of Bavaria. It's Bavaria International. So there we are be part of some trade fairs abroad. And the cluster also, as I mentioned already, is part of projects such as, for instance, here, European projects as well. And we have we are organizing together with our Chinese partners and German-Chinese Automotive Congress in Bavaria. National activities to connect or to network all our partners, actors, companies, and institutions. Of course, with other actors on European level, but also globally, but also to give them an insight in upcoming markets, in new markets or new production plants as well, or regions where which could be interesting for them for the future. I also already mentioned the Supplier Innovation Day. What is it? It's an in-house fair at the premise of the OEM or Tier 1 supplier. Together with them, we are developing so-called innovation fields, or we are having a deep look inside, and together with the manufacturer on their future innovation fields. They are stipulating all the topics in the document or then we have a, so when we receive all the fields of innovation or technologies the OEM or tier one supplier want to keep a network in, or is looking for new suppliers, for example, we go back to our network, we have a look there, which company or which player or which institute is running, for example, R&D projects already on the questioned field and could help or support the manufacturers or tier ones to bring their innovations much faster on the street than without this supporting or without the network. So we are already organized in a supplier innovation days together with Ford, with Volvo in Sweden, with the Fiat Chrysler Automobiles Group in Turin. We are working with the Renault and of course with the Bavarian manufacturer BMW. Organizing these supplier innovation days. So as I told you, we define the different innovation or technology fields together with the manufacturer. So we send out this questionnaire or this innovation document to all our potential companies. So based on that, they fill in this innovation profile, and then we send it back to the manufacturer, which helps us to, on both sides, to match very exactly the offers and the requests. Then we organize this innovation day. It's one day. The premises of the OEM or the tier one supplier, and also only the staff member or the staff of the host can visit the exhibition, around 20 or 20 up to 25 companies. So this helps us to support our stakeholders to identify very trends or new technologies. So this was a small insight what we are doing, how the cluster is working. This is our team. We are specialists for the different fields or for the different innovation fields. Here I give you an overview of my colleagues and which fields we are dedicating to. And I would be glad if you come back with some questions, or if you're interested, of course, would be glad to talk to you after the lectures. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Flügel. The questions we will get in the end of our entire presentations. I just wrote me 2 words down, which you said, connecting solutions. So we have heard a lot of interesting facts from your cluster and from Bayern Innovativ. And this is the reason why I would like to give the second chance to Mr. Levkov. Just, I think he is in the conference again. So we would try whether his microphone is working now. So we can get him. Yes, it's better now. Mr. Levkov, can you tell us some sentence so that we can check whether the sound is all right? Unfortunately, I cannot hear him. I see that he's online, but I think it's not working. No. Okay. Good. Just we tried it once more. So I'm really sorry about that. But the technique is not really on our side this morning. So thank you very much, Ms. Flügel, for your input. Now we will receive some deep input with facts and figures from your side, also from the automotive industry in Bulgaria and Bavaria. So we have got interview from both sides. And now we will stick much more deeper in facts and figures, statistics. Mr. Vorhälter from Bulgaria is a correspondent in Bulgaria from Germany Trade and Invest, and he will present Bulgaria at a glance as a business location. So please, we will go on with the presentation of Mr. Vorhälter from Germany Trade and Invest. So, Mr. Vorhälter, are you here? Okay. I read that he cannot hear anything.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can hear me.
Okay. Yes, now we can hear you. Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Because I don't hear anything. The audio is very bad. Because maybe it's the internet connection. It's like a bad telephone call.
But we hear you.
So I don't know. Okay, will you hear me? Well,
yes.
Then I give my so this is my presentation. I hope you can see it. Well,
yes,
then
fine.
I will start. My name is Dominik Vorhälter, and I'm the successor of Günther Meyer. He was correspondent for Bulgaria, Romania, and Moldova. And here you see it's a little bit uncommon picture, but these are all my colleagues. Germany Trade and Invest is the economic development agency for the Federal Republic of Germany, and we offer German small and medium companies free support of their businesses with information over 130 countries. We also identified companies and investors abroad. These are my colleagues from the investor consulting branch. And also we promote the location of Germany and especially the new federal states of Germany. Well, we have more than 50 offices, and I will hopefully soon will move to Budapest, where I will work and also work on Bulgaria. Now I have the honor to speak to you from Bonn. And well, here you see all our locations where we do market analyzing trends and provide you all information of the latest developments. As you know, the coronavirus, we have a serial on our homepage where we post regularly updates on restrictions, exit strategies, or if you have questions in terms of customs or import rules, and also we offer webinars. Well, this is a quick overview of what Germany and in Germany Trade and Invest does for you. And now I will start my presentation. I will talk about the coronavirus pandemic in Bulgaria. Then I will talk about the recent developments of Bulgaria's economic, and then I will present some incentives for Bulgaria as a business location. And then you will hear news about the next EU funding period. Well, let's start. As you know, the coronavirus is affecting the economics worldwide. It is said that there is the most biggest contractions since World War II. And yeah, well, Bulgaria is also facing now the second wave of the coronavirus, but it is not as bad as it was expected before, because the restriction rules compared to other countries are far or more or less more indulgent. So in the summer, especially the economies, the companies had the chance to recover, and you can see this also when you have a look at the business climate indicators. They are increasing again, but still there's a big risk, especially in the head of the second wave, that the demand is decreasing again because other countries are shutting down. And now we have also in Bulgaria more strict rules, for example, for elder people. Maybe you know it. You can only go to for grocery shopping from 8 to 10 if you are older than 65 years, and more restriction are ahead if the pandemic tragedy is increasing. But also we have funding from the EU to cover the healthcare system, and there will be about more than 40 million euro budget for the Bulgarian health system, which is very helpful. Well, you know all the restrictions very well. I don't have to go deeper on it, but which is important is that the anti-corona measures are helping. And one big pillar is the 60/40, which subsidy program that allows Bulgarian to finance 60% of the wage costs, and thanks to that, don't have of workers because they don't have they can get attendance by the attendance, so the wage subsidy continuing. Most infected sectors are, of course, tourism, the passenger transport, but also such sectors as culture and sports. And the tourism had a sort of helpful summer, like compared to other countries in the EU. It was allowed to travel to Bulgaria, which was a little bit helpful, but still the losses of for especially small companies are big, and the risks to lose more money and don't be able to pay bills anymore is still yeah, on the shoulders of every CEO. But there are programs, for example, the EU-funded SURE program, with
Mr. Vorhoter, I think your microphone is not working right now. A little bit slower. A little bit slower, because I think the sound is a little bit.
I don't understand you.
Yes, and now it's better. A little bit slower. Yes, now it's better. Thank you.
Okay. Well, you see in this slide the contraction of the economic and GDP growth is forecasted for this year with minus 5.1, and one positive development is that consumption, one pillar of the economic development in Bulgaria, is not as sharply contracting as in the first place accepted. We expect a -1, which is quite good, and consumption is still a driver of the economic growth, and this development is thanks to the tourism, which was possible during the summer in this year. You see the export and the import is contracting by minus 12.9 and minus 10.5. And this is due to external factors mostly, like the demand in the European Union is still slow, but we see an optimistic trajectory for the economic development. Bulgaria's economy is still is recovering, but very slow. It could have been a little bit faster development, but we have to bear in mind that the ongoing corona crisis is still hampering, and more restrictions in other countries can hinder the trajectory, and but very important is the also the the public investment, as you can see here. We have a very good, strong fiscal position in Bulgaria compared to other EU countries. The Bulgarian state has a very well financed budget, and it can afford to spend money to the economy, for example, for the work retention scheme, which is working very well, and the further development of the GDP of Bulgaria is very much depending of how Bulgaria is enforcing further measures like the 60-40 program in the next year. So we see that the coronavirus ends the 5-year period of GDP growth. But we have hope that like domestic and external demand is slightly growing again, and that budget spending supports incomes and the employment. From the trade side, you see some figures before the Corona crisis. The foreign trade was growing, but now we see, especially in the third and fourth quarter, we expect a growth again. But here again, it will also depend on the external factors and how hard restrictions concerning coronavirus from other countries, from Bulgaria's main trade partners, also here in Germany, Italy, and France, will be and will turn out in the future. And this has an immediate impact on how foreign trade will develop. And with Germany, the foreign trade will be is now at minus 12.1. And we expect a slight growing. If the German government imposes more harder restrictions, which is not to hope, the recovery takes more time, of course. Well, to sum up, we have a risk of lower demand, and external and internal, and also unemployment is still a risk. If the government spending ends, many firms will have to take decisions, and to economic money, I think some have to lay off a workforce. But also there is political instability, which is not very useful to investment climate. And in the next year, there will be elections, but still people go on the street, you know it. But on the other hand, we have good opportunities. The EU funds, there are 29 billion euros planned for Bulgaria, and also the development of the ITC sector and tourism, of course, after the pandemic, are very prosperous drivers of economic development. And there will be many investment opportunities concerning energy transition in Bulgaria, also in line with EU funds, which supports Green Deal schemes, energy efficiency programs, and reduction of coal dioxides. So here you see some incentives or advantage of Bulgaria as a business location. As Mr. Stanislav mentioned, Bulgaria has a flat tax rate and also the minimum wage, which means as an incentive for investments. And as I mentioned already, we have 29 billion EU funds. I will tell you in the following slides more about it. And Bulgaria ranks on the 61st position in the ease of doing business report by the World Bank. Well, here you see a comparison of the wage levels within the EU countries, and Bulgaria really is on the last rank. But this, from an investor perspective, is an attractive position, especially as we have already heard, also for the automotive industry. Bosch, for example, will hire more than 300 specialists for its R&D center, and I think there will be more of such developments for Bulgaria ahead. Here we have, I marked some prospects of selected industrial sectors. Of course, the coronavirus pandemic is a big impact also for the development of business. But we have bright prospects, for example, in the construction industry, also because of EU funds and big projects planned for the infrastructure, and also because of the trend of renovating houses and buildings and make them energy efficient. The information and telecommunication sector is also very perspective, which you already mentioned. There are many projects going on, and also Bulgaria takes advantage of its incentives like wage costs and workforce which is well educated, and so outsourcing technologies and software engineering projects are increasing in the future. So here I sum up factors of improvement, and so there will be more demand and orders in the future, and you can already recognize it, but
Mr. Vorreiter, I think your sound is again getting worse. Just a little bit slower, and then it might work. Mr. Vorreiter, can you hear us? Because I can't hear you right now. No, I think the sound is not working, so that's the reason why I think
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, now it's better because your sound was not working.
Okay.
Now it's better again.
Okay.
Some kind of waves.
Okay,
which are not
sorry.
really.
Yes.
Yeah, just then sum it up. It might be
I'm in
easier.
my office here in. Okay. I was talking about the perspectives of the industrial sectors, and now we see that firms are already getting orders again, but still there is a problem with the demand overall. And but which is good is that Bulgaria has now price stability because became a member of the Eurozone's precursor mechanism, which eliminates the currency risks. So this is a very good development for the future to make business in Bulgaria. Still, we have shortages of labor and competition, and the uncertain economic environment of coronavirus, of course. But we have the hope that everybody gets a vaccine against it soon, and then we think we have a reason to look in a brighter future. Well, now I
Mr.
continue
Vorhitter, can you
with
just summarize it a little bit, because we are over the time a little bit with your presentation.
Okay, yes, it's just this overview of planned EU funding. You see Bulgaria is awaiting 29 billion euros from Brussels, and these are the planned allocations in the graph. And here you have the total budget scheme, and Bulgaria has spent or has received 47% of the current funding period, which is quite good. Well, now it's already the end of my presentation, and I hope it was understandable for you. Anyhow, please turn to our homepage or to me personally, because reliable market informations are becoming more important, and we try to transfer this information to you to make your business more plannable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vorhitter, and for your optimistic economic outlook and your facts from Germany Trade and Invest. And now we would like to go on. Please keep in line, because we have our question session afterwards. And now we are coming to an interesting part of our today's conference. If you are interested in really investing in the great location Bulgaria, the Invest Bulgaria agency is represented now by Desislava Trifonova, and she's the new executive director from the Invest Bulgarian agency, who would like to give you some greeting words to the participants. And then afterwards, Irina Kirova, who is the chief secretary, will have the presentation about investment opportunities in Bulgaria. Please.
Thank you very much, dear participants, dear organizers. It is an honor for me to be part of this event, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the German-Bulgaria Chamber of Industry and Commerce for the invitation to the Invest Bulgaria agency to participate in this conference. Traditionally, there is a strong cooperation between Bulgaria and Germany, and we hope that in future we will achieve even greater success. For us, it would be a real pleasure to support German businesses in their future endeavors in Bulgaria as we implement strong government support. Despite the negative socio-economic outcome from the COVID crisis, the Bulgarian authorities have taken all necessary measures to address the crisis. During the first wave of COVID, the authorities have managed to maintain the employment in Bulgaria in order to prevent further disruption in the employment market. Our unemployment rate for the second quarter of 2020 was 5.9%, and the employment rate for the same period was 72.2%. Of course, the second wave of COVID hit us all very hardly, and we face similar problems in Europe, but at this moment, we don't plan a complete shutdown in the country. Also, in July this year, the Bulgarian currency lev was included in the exchange rate mechanism, so-called ERM2, as part of the process to join the euro area. In the period of pandemic, various measures, schemes, and grants were introduced to all kinds of businesses, small, medium, and large enterprises, companies from different service sectors, tourism, and agriculture, in order to support the business and achieve faster recovery after the crisis. A combination of measures were implemented earlier this year, like social contribution aid, also co-funding by the operational programs, and of course preferential lending measures for the companies. Although the pandemic, we still report interest in Bulgaria as an investment destination in the production of high value added services, ICT, outsourcing. These sectors are among the leading sectors for attracting investors in Bulgaria, along with automotive sector, electronics, transportation equipment and machinery, chemical industry, food industry, and of course logistics. I hope you all manage to stay healthy in these difficult times, and that in future with joint projects and good cooperation between us, we will overcome this crisis very soon. Now I would like to give the opportunity to my highly valued colleague from the agency, Ms. Irina Kirova, the Chief Secretary of the agency, to present Bulgaria as an attractive destination for future investments. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ms. Kirova?
Thank you. Hello, thank you, Ms. Kirova. Hello, everybody. I hope that you are in good health, and and thank you for the organizer for the chance to participate in this digital seminar. I will show you some interesting facts about Bulgaria and the incentives measures and why to invest in Bulgaria. So I hope one day to see you here. Some words about Invest Bulgaria agency. We are a government organization established to attract investment to Bulgaria, to project setup, and to ensure successful project development resulting in new jobs, export, and know-how transfer for the Bulgarian economy. We help potential and existing investors explore the investment opportunities in Bulgaria and carry out the greenfield investment project in the country. We provide confidential and free support. Some general information about Bulgaria. We have 4 seasons, climate, the type of the government is Parliament Republic. We are about 7 million people. The capital is Bulgaria. Capital is Sofia, excuse me. And the unemployment rate, according to the National Statistic Institute, is about 3.7%. Next slide, please. Some interesting facts about Bulgaria. Bulgaria is in top 10 countries in the world with the fastest internet connection. Bulgaria is at the top of the world rankings in mathematics, 3rd in the world of IT specialists per capita. 49% of the population speaks at least one foreign language, amongst which is the German also. Bulgaria ranks 3rd in terms of cultural and historical heritage in Europe. Also, Bulgaria offers political stability and strategic location. We are a member of the European Union, NATO, and World Trade Organization. Also, through Bulgaria pass 5 pan-European corridors. We have 4 major airports in Sofia, Plovdiv, Varna, and Burgas, 2 main seaports in Varna and Burgas, and numerous ports along the Danube River. Also, 1 euro is about 2 leva. Here you can see some credit ratings according to Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's, where you can see that Bulgaria is being stable according to the credit ratings. Also, Bulgaria offers one of the most competitive costs in Europe according to electricity, gas, water, rents, and labor costs. The GDP growth has been accelerated for the last few years. The other major macroeconomic indicators, such as unemployment and inflation rate, have also shown a positive trend, making Bulgaria a sweet spot for investors. You can see that in 2017, the GDP growth rate was about 3.8%, and 2019, it's about 3.4%. Here on the diagram is shown the investment between Bulgaria and Germany, and in the first quarter of 2020, the flow of foreign direct investment from Germany to Bulgaria was about 50 million euro, and in the second quarter it was negative, about 9.3 millions. So you can see that from Bulgaria to Germany from 2015, there has an increase in the investment in 2019 from 80 millions to 20 millions, and from Germany to Bulgaria in 2015 there has a decrease from 161 million euro in 2019 in 108.6 million euro. Some interesting fact about the stock exchange. In 2019, the trade with Germany reached about 8.458 billion euros, and the import from Germany reached about 4.50 billion euro, and export to Germany reached 4.400 billion euro. And in the first half of 2020, trade with Germany reached about 3.929 billion euros, and the import is about 1.74 billion, and the export to Germany reached about 2.155 billion euros. The effect of COVID-19 on the Bulgarian economy, it has a negative impact as every country in the world. But according to the forecast of the Dutch bank, the GDP growth will be in 2.1%, and the annual inflation rate in Bulgaria is 2.70%, according to our statistic given by the Bulgarian National Bank and the National Statistic Institute. At the macroeconomic level, Bulgaria has some macro-financial stability and greater fiscal space to maneuver thanks to low government debts and the lack of budget deficits. Bulgaria has traditionally low level of household debt and ranks among the countries with the lowest debt in Europe, 28% of GDP in 2019, according to the International Monetary Fund. A factor that potentially increases the risk to the Bulgarian economy is the large number of small and medium-sized enterprises expected to be most affected by the crisis, more than 98% of all companies away. Some information about the taxation rate. Bulgaria has one of the lowest taxation rate in the European Union. We have very attractive taxation system with 10% corporate income tax, 10% personal income tax, and the general VAT is 20%. 0% corporate tax rate is in the zones with unemployment of 25 or higher than the average. On the diagram, you can see that the comparative taxation rate between Bulgaria and some of the countries in the region or in Europe, like Serbia, Romania, Czech, Poland, UK, Turkey, and Slovakia. Also about the vocational secondary education, there are about 307 vocational training schools with technical specialized, more than 2,346 students in dual training, and 430 vocational secondary school. Starting a business in Bulgaria is not a difficult task, and it costs about 150 euro and could be done in 2 days with the registration in the commercial register. Also, it could be made with the deposit in a bank of 1 euro. Also, the registration for VAT at the National Revenue Agency could be done in 40 days. Bulgaria has a project of 11 industrial zones, and now in operation are 6 zones in Sofia, Burgas, Russe, Svilengrad, Stara Zagora, and in 5 zones are under development in nowadays in Karlovo, Telish, Varna, and Varna West and Kărģeli. Also, the Bulgarian government is under the procedure of a new act of industrial park. On the diagram, you can see the sectors of the foreign direct investment and by the economic activity grouping and the percentage of different sectors in the economic activity, like food products, beverage, real estate, telecommunication, and so on. About the automotive sector, Mr. Stanislavov said much, so I will not repeat the things that he said, and I will tell you some basic historic facts. As Mr. Stanislavov said, Bulgaria has a history in the automotive industry, and lately the automotive is the blooming part of the industry in Bulgaria. It began in 1925 when 2 aircraft plants established in Bujurište at Kazanlukt. In 1958, Madara started production of heavy-duty vehicles. In 1969, Renault assembled the cars of Renault 8 and Renault 10 in Plovdiv. In 1990, Liebherr started production in Bulgaria near Plovdiv. And 2019, more than 230 companies worked in the automotive sector in Bulgaria. Almost 80% of the sensors in all European cars are made in Bulgaria. As you saw in the previous presentation, a lot of companies work here, like Visteon, Siemens, EBB, Festo, Yazaki, Teklas, Vos, Leoni, Odeo, and Tem, and others. The IT and BPO is the next sector that the Bulgarian government developed. It has a long experience and traditions in the IT sectors. Some interesting historical facts. In 1937, the Tanasov-Berry computer is the world's first electronic digital computer. In 1967, the first factory of computing technology in Bulgaria was founded. In 1980, first Bulgarian microcomputer IMCO-1 was made. It's an analog of Apple II Plus. In 1984, the Private 16, initially made under the name IMCO-4, was an analog of IBM. Bulgaria started producing 60,000 computers per year, and thus becoming the number of one producer and exporter for USSR and CMEA. In 2006, 80% of Bulgarian software companies' revenue already result from contracts with European and US partners. And in 2010 was created the first Bulgarian internet browser. Some data about about this sector. More than 583 BPO and IT companies work in the country. More than 67,000 people are full-time employed in Bulgaria, and the contributions to the GDP, according to the data from 2018, is about 2.4 billion euro, which is about 5.2% of the GDP of the country. And all this is made with the educational system. The IT companies prepare by themselves the new generation of IT specialists for the digital future, and they participate in the educational systems in the schools, and after that they select some of the most educated people to work in their companies. You can see some data about the students. More than 10,400 students graduating computer science, software development, and mathematics. 12,000 students were enrolled in these majors in 2019 and 2018. 20,000 university and college people graduate university and college graduates that could be suitable employees for the sourcing industry in 2019. And a rapid development of private initiatives for adult and formal secondary education is the next positive trend. Electronics and engineer sector is one of the next sector that the Bulgarian government develop and pay especially attention to that sector in the economy. Some interesting facts about this sector is that the electronics and electrical engineering sector, represented by electric machines as a product group, has achieved the most significant progress in the export of the country. And between 2007 and 2019, the export of the product group has increased 4 times, from 776 million euro to 3.16 billion euro. We have a rich history and traditions in the sector also. So here I show some interesting fact about
Sorry, you have Ms. Kirova, you have muted your microphone somehow.
Is it okay
Yeah,
now?
now it's good. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And we have to be a little bit stick to the time because it's 3 minutes before, 12.
Okay, some interesting facts in this sector. So maybe next slide. The export value of the sector in Germany shows that the export of products of the sector from Bulgaria to Germany exceed imports and amounts to 574 million in 2019. About the government incentives, there are three certification criteria according to the Investment Promotion Act, and they are employment establishment, economic activity and location. Creating new working places is one of the requirements for receiving the certificate by the investors. The other is the target sectors that are defined by the state and the high-tech-foils. And the third is the location. Establishment of the project in a region with high unemployment will reflect in doubling the period of reimbursement of social security payment, and it will result in 0% corporate taxation rate. On the next slide, you can see that according to the Investment Promotion Act, there could be issued three types of certifications: priority class, class A, and class B. And the difference is depends from the threshold and number of the jobs that are created. For the priority class, the investment intention could be made for up to 50 million euros, and the jobs could be from 50 to 150. And on the diagrams, you can see the difference for the other class A and class B. The incentives that the Bulgarian government gives depends on the investment, the amount of the investment intention is a shortcut on administrative terms, no tender and no competition for acquisition of state municipality land, financial vocational training, social security cashback, individual services, and financing technical infrastructure for priority class and class A, public-private partnership, no tax on changing land status, and buying public land on favorable prices, and grant for R&D for the big project for priority class given by the Minister of the Economy. Next slide, please. On the diagram, you see the map of Bulgaria, which is divided in three types. Depends from the unemployment rate, and
you have, sorry, but you have muted your microphone again. And we have to come a little to an end.
Okay. So the incentives depends from the unemployment rate from the region that with the higher unemployment, it could be reflecting the zero corporate tax for up to 2 years and the cashback social security. Next slide, please. Here has some good practice of Bulgarian companies that invest in Bulgaria that was mentioned before in the previous presentations. And finally, to summarize what Bulgaria offers: business stability, because we are European Union, NATO, and World Trade Organization member, currency board, low budget deficit, and government debts. We have educated and skilled workforce. 80,000 students are abroad. 25% of population hold university degree, and almost half of the population speaks at least one foreign language. We have easy market access to European Union, Turkey, Russia, and Middle East. We have reduced cost and risk, attractive taxation system, competitive cost of labor, and favorable office rents and low cost of utilities. and the government incentives for the investment project, social security benefits, tax benefits, and vocational educational benefits. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that I was useful. Our emails and phones are always available, and are free to get in touch with us. So we will support the project.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And now we have got time a little bit for questions. If from the participations are any questions to all our speakers today. I think Mr. Stanislavov left already because there was a question towards him according to the starting time of the autonomous testing facilities. But I think he is not here anymore. But I have learned so far from all the speakers and the presentation that we have connected solutions, and according to, for instance, interior design, we have companies who are active in Bavaria and Bulgaria, and they are also dealing with autonomous driving, intelligent mobility. And then we have really good cooperation, which shows the close partnership between these two partners over the last couple of years. And this gives us also the motivation for working closer in the future. So are there any questions? Please tell us now. Or everything is clear, that is also possible. Oh. Yeah, I cannot read any questions in the presentation, so I guess, yes?
Excuse me, this is Stefan Yonkov from Munich. Can I take part?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Hello, I have a problem with my camera, so I will go ahead just to inform you, being here in Munich and being on field, interacting with the possible Bavarian investors in Bulgaria. I must say that just wanted to share with you about my perspective. Due to the Corona crisis, we have noticed also a big interest to Bulgaria, and probably it might come as a surprise for you, but probably because the companies have a lot more time to of course, to see their strategies, how would they go on for the future. We have some projects that are coming, hopefully, for Bulgaria. Of course, they are at very initial stage, but most importantly, there are two projects in the field of automotive suppliers that have already shown interest to Bulgaria, and we're working together with them in order to bring them, to win them for Bulgaria. And two other companies that are in the field of automotive software. So exactly on the topic, we are, of course, trying to do our best to make 2021, when travels are possible, to bring these investors to Bulgaria, reveal them the attractiveness on field. And I would like to also thank my colleagues from the Invest Bulgaria agency, from the German Bulgaria Industrial and Economic Chamber, and for the support till the moment. And I will also rely on their support for the future projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Yonkov. And
may I say something to Mr.
Yes.
Yonkov? Yes, I would thank you for interested in Bulgaria, and I propose you not to wait in 2021. And if you have interest, and you can, our emails are open, and you can send us an email, and we can discuss the intentions of the investor, so we can start working also in nowadays. If you okay.
Yes, we're doing this with them, but of course it takes time, as you know, Mrs. Kirova, for them, and we don't want to be so pushy at the moment with the pandemic situation. But I will definitely inform you on the development, and I'm hopeful that we'll keep in touch with making these investments in Bulgaria happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much to everybody for all the presentations and the interesting facts. And I think we have a lot of common points mentioned, which will provide us with future cooperation and collaboration. And yes, if I cannot see any further questions in the chat, so I will close this morning session. Thank you very much for participating. And if there are any questions, just don't hesitate to contact us, write us an email, and then we're gonna answer that. Thank you very much, and I wish you a nice Tuesday.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
Have a nice day and keep healthy.